Good evening and welcome to the Stoppage Time Penalty Show with myself, Tobrise. Hope everyone is well. Hope everyone is staying hydrated. What a weekend and what a week we are looking to get. So on today's show, we have Keith Boanas, Uefa Pro License Coach. And on the show with Keith, we have Jose, professional footballer. How you doing, sir?
I'm really good. Really looking forward to today's show. Thank you for having me once again.
And then we have founder of Independent FC, Coach Barry. How you doing, Coach?
Yeah, greetings, everyone.
And again to the special guest, Keith Boanas. How are you doing in this beautiful weather?
What are you calling me?
Have I got your surname completely wrong?
I'm a bit Jeff in my old age. It sounds like you're saying Boanas. It's Boanas.
Bonus. Sorry,
Bonus,
apologies.
Yeah. As in the money we don't get. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. How you doing, sir?
I'm good, my friend. Thank you for asking me on.
Good stuff. And again, please, guys, please like, subscribe, do like all of the nice stuff to kind of keep this channel going. So, you know what? Let's go straight into it. Keith, would love to know a little bit about your journey. Take it away.
Yeah, we just spoke, didn't we? The risk of sounding boring, and you said cut it into a minute. If I cut it short, and then the rest may come out during the evening. So I started 100% as a grassroots coach. So at age 18, I started coaching. I had injuries when I was young, and I started coaching at 18, being the oldest player in a local Sunday league team. So the journey carried right the way through, right up until 2012 in Estonia, when I finally got to reach the pro license, which is one of the points of discussion. There's masses in between, too much to say right now in a minute, as you've asked. But I think just proof that, a grassroots coach can get to the highest level. What you do with it and what you get away with at that point, I think, is another story. But massively proud of the fact that I got there. Wished a few of my own kind of family members had still been around to see that happen. But I'm sure they're looking down on me and they're very proud anyway. So that's cutting it as short as I can right now.
I love that. But yeah, we'll be definitely delving deep into your journey. And you know what? Let's kind of start with Coach Barry. I would love to get your first question to.
Yeah, mine's easy. I know you've done the pro license. I know people who've done the pro license as well. Some people think it's productive, but with your experience, if you have any hands in changing anything within getting the pro license, is there anything in there you would change?
It's an unusual one for me, Barry, because I applied 7 years on the trot at home here in England, and I didn't get accepted. Having the A license doesn't give you a guarantee to get onto the pro license. It's linked to where you're working at the time, and you don't stay on the list. Every year you apply, you go in the hat with everybody else. So then it's given from the top level downwards, who's allowed on it. Obviously, it's linked into timescales and can you afford it, etc., etc.
That's the question. Sorry to cut you. How much is it now? When you done it, how much was it?
I'm told around £11,000 now. Don't quote me.
11,000.
Yeah.
Quote me on that. It might be less, but I know it's like 15,000 euros in Denmark. It's in the thousands. I'm not dead certain, Barry. I'm not going to lie and guess at it, but it's certainly.
I think years and years, it was about £9,000. I'm talking 15 years ago.
Yeah. It's always been high. The other badges have all gone up now as well.
Yeah.
So but I was lucky enough, obviously, to go out to Estonia, and as a national team coach and a technical director, the opportunity came to do it there, and I had to write and ask permission from John Peacock at the time at the English FA, and he said, "Well, look, Keith, of course, we're not going to stop you doing it." I had to pay for it there, but I got subsidised because I was the national team coach of the Estonian women's side at that time. And I was the only Englishman on a course with Dutch, German, Estonian and Russian coaches and a Dutch tutor. So I needed an interpreter at times, but a lot of it was run in English because it was a universal language. So I was lucky in that sense. It took about 2 years to get through it. And again, I don't think it was any less of an achievement. In fact, being the only Englishman on that course, I think maybe a little bit tougher to get through it. So immensely proud when I finally passed it in 2012.
Excellent.
Well, and again, for like, there are people that don't really know like the difference between UEFA A, UEFA B, and a UEFA Pro license. What's the most distinguishing factor?
The UEFA Pro now is at the moment, anyway, the highest level award certainly in Europe and recognised throughout the world. If you're looking at Guardiola and Klopp and the likes, they've all got the Pro license. But it's a prerequisite to work at the highest level, Premier League, etc., and National League, national teams. The difference between the A and the Pro is it starts delving much, much deeper into all the other aspects of the game, not just on-field, coaching the game, match analysis. It goes into dealing with agents, media, finance. It goes into all the other elements that a manager needs to know, as well as the coaching side of it on the grass.
Okay. Jose, would love to get your question.
So I actually know quite a few managers who are in positions at the moment where they're struggling to take the next step in their licensing process, and this is what's stopping them a lot of times from making the move between higher leagues or to better positions. So what I'd like to know is, what can each manager do to put themselves, or each coach what can they do to put themselves in the best situation so they can get onto their next available course, whether that's UEFA A or UEFA Pro? Is there anything that they can do in their control, or is it
I wish there was a perfect answer. I get the question, Jose. I wish there was a perfect answer. I think you've got to strive to just be successful, and the most successful you can be in the area that you're working. The higher level you're working, the more chance you've got to be accepted, the more exposure you get, the more success you get. And it doesn't necessarily mean winning trophies. It could be in development football. It could be, you're recognised as being an integral part of a successful machine at a club. I think it's just striving to be the best you can be and awaiting that opportunity. It is still possible that you can, apply in more than one country to do it. I know UEFA have looked at that and it's kind of been bounced around, but it's worth investigating. Could you possibly do it in another country if you can't get accepted in the country where you're working for whatever reason, like I did? But you just got to keep striving. I mean, that's not the only thing that's stopping them getting better jobs, because again, there's non-pro licensed coaches that have got jobs higher level where it said it was a prerequisite, but they've still been given the job because they've been seen to have the potential, or they've had the success to be good enough to go into that job, and then they put on the pro license when they get into it. So it's still about how well you're doing and how hard you're working in the job you're in. So maintain your standards, keep pushing to get your standards better, and get yourself out there, get yourself noticed. Don't be frightened to use media platforms and social media, etc., to get your name out there. It's an old adage. I may be speaking this one too long, but I'll go into a story I heard a long time ago about even pushing a player. Some of you guys might not be old enough to remember. Barry might. Emlyn Hughes. Emlyn Hughes' dad used to walk around the scouts around the pitch and go up to him and go, "That number 5 is a great player, isn't he?" And it was his son. So he used to plant the kid's name into the ears of the scouts. So you've got to plant yourself out there. You've got to keep putting yourself out there. And hopefully at some stage someone will click and go, maybe this guy deserves a chance. Maybe this is the person we're looking for. In this day and age, this doesn't matter female, male. Everyone's striving to get those higher levels.
You sorry.
I was just I was being greedy. Sorry.
No.
Would you say?
Don't argue.
Would you say that if a club is specifically asking for a UEFA A or a UEFA Pro, and someone's either UEFA A or UEFA B, do you think they should still take that risk and apply?
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. If your CV, if your CV's up to a certain level, the fact that you haven't actually got the award I would still go for it, because there could be, again, if a recruiter's looking at it as well as they should see the positives in that. And again, once you're in that role, they can then provide you with that help to push on and do it. It's what happens at a lot of academies, where coaches get a role at the academy, then the academy will push them into the Advanced Youth Award, etc., because they can see the potential. So good recruiters and good clubs will recruit the right person, whether they've got the badge already or not.
Okay.
But they'll help them get there. If it's a specific rule of the association that they're working for that they need it, then the club will help push them through that.
Okay, thank you.
The club's doing what they should be doing.
Yeah. So, but also by like saying that, and we've all know in terms of the merry-go-round regarding like the Premiership jobs, that they seem to be circled between 5 or 6 managers that are kind of out of jobs, and now we are looking at a new generation of those managers. Rooney now, Gerrard, Lampard, and there are some coaches that actually don't have the UEFA A or the pro license badges, or they do, and like they find it difficult to actually get those League One, League Two, or even pro Premiership jobs. I mean, isn't that disheartening for anyone that's looking to spend 15,000 euros on on a license?
I think it is. I'm kind of twisted on that question, because you mentioned Rooney, Gerrard, Lampard. They're obviously going through it. Or Lampard and Gerrard have certainly gone through their A. And Rooney, I think Rooney's on his A license as well, I'm pretty sure. If you're talking about people underneath the pro game that haven't gone through that level of football and been given the opportunities, maybe based on that, slightly quicker than somebody like myself would, then yeah, spending the money and then not getting the jobs. Of course, it's like anything. If you spend money on a university program or a training program and then you can't get a job, you're always going to be frustrated. And it's the same process. You've done all of that work, all of those qualifications, gained them, and you still can't get a job. It's happened to me. And it does knock you for 6. You do need, at that time, you need a support mechanism around you. You need people to, it might sound weak, but in this day and age, I don't think it is. You need people to reassure you. You need people to tell you that, what you have done is still something to be proud of. But yeah, I think you've hit a nail on the head. Getting the pro license does not guarantee you getting the job that you're dreaming of.
Coach Barry.
Yeah, what I'm finding interesting is that, like you just said, with Lampard, it seems like professional footballers seem to fly through their badges, and the process works better for professional footballers. You said you applied, I think you said 7 times.
Yeah.
Do you think there's something wrong in the process? Do you think there's favoritism in the process in this country? I know it's a sensitive question, so be careful how you answer it.
It needs to be answered, though. It needs to be answered.
That's a valid question. Do I think there was a time, not so long ago, where I just said yes. I think it's changing. 100% is changing.
Yeah.
There's some good people working within the FA infrastructure now underneath, starting to put those things right, starting to make it a more equal playing field. I think, even the FA themselves, and certainly the PFA that are involved in the coach education of most of the pros, they are being a lot stronger now, more stringent on people actually doing the work. So there was a fast tracking system. There still is a slight fast tracking system, which you can appreciate because of the hours in the highest level of the game they've played. So I think it's right that there is some form of fast tracking system to get the award, but not necessarily fast tracking into the job. They still have to be good enough to get the job. And that's something I admire, the way that even Rooney, certainly Gerrard and Lampard, they've all kind of, Frank was different because he got given an opportunity that he couldn't turn down. But for Gerrard to start with the younger team at Liverpool, then go over to Rangers, for instance, and then Lamps going to Derby, and then Rooney going to Derby, those are they're risks, really. So they've gone to find their feet and test the water. And in the old days, we used to call it doing your apprenticeship. So you go back in the day, the likes of Bruce Rioch, George Graham did their apprenticeship at Millwall, for instance.
Yeah.
And then gone on to do, you know, higher level with Arsenal, etc. So I think it was certainly there. Is it still there? Maybe slightly, but I do believe there are people now, and certainly people I work alongside at the FA, Butch Faisal being one of them, are doing a hell of a lot of work to try and improve things and make sure it is more of an equal playing field.
Okay.
Cool. Jose, would love to get your next question.
I just want to pick up on this. Do you think it's a matter of, at the moment, it's a matter of just availability of courses, you know, given the pandemic and everything, or do you think it's just genuine backlog from all these years? What do you think is impeding people from getting on the courses at the moment? Is it the fast track?
Yeah, the highest level. I think the pro license, they only run one a year anyway, unless that's changed. So as far as I'm aware, they only run one a year here at home, and in most countries, because it's a long process course, so they start one each year, then they overlap. So, you know, again, it's almost about must needs. So who wants to get on a pro license and why is even drip feeding down now to the A license, to the B license. So what the FA are starting to look at now is, you know, you're looking at applying for the B, you're looking at applying for the A, you're looking at applying for the pro. Why? So they're looking closer at why. Do you need it? Do you actually need it? You know, are you going to get the opportunities? Do you need the opportunities? Where are your strengths? What level do you work at now? What are you really aspiring to achieve? So don't go and put yourself, and I've had this conversation with one or two recently, because I mentor coaches as well. You know, where do you actually want to be? Where do you see your strength? What do you want to work? What areas you want to work in? Which players do you want to benefit? So do you need to put yourself through that stress and that financial stretch as well to get there if you're actually not going to use it to the level it needs using? So you really kind of got to map out what you want in the future and where you see yourself. And I recently did the LMA diploma as well, and there was a really good seminar on that. And it was, you know, the journey. So in 5 years' time, when I'm 67 years of age, 68 years of age, where do I see myself then? And then work backwards. So rather than going forwards, work backwards from the pinnacle at that age. So if I'm 25 now and I said at 30 I want to have my pro license, I've got to work back as to the why, the wherefores, the hows, who are the influences going to be, why am I doing this, who do I need to work with, what level do I need to work at? So it's about working out in your own head why, not because it's there, I want to do it. I really have to think about why am I going to put myself through that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, it does. Coach, why is there such a big disparity between the elite coaches that actually come from a ethnic background and, like, you know, now, like, you know, Patrick Vieira's taken the Crystal Palace job, and, you know, it was a kind of a surprise, but, you know, we all know of elite players, you know, again, I'd say predominantly, you know, a lot of the elite players in the Premiership come from an, you know, ethnic background, but the biggest disparity is in the coaching and, like, you know, managing at the high level. Why do you think that's the case?
You're asking me or Barry that?
I'm asking you, Keith.
Okay, because you said coach. I put coach on my name.
Sorry.
I mean, first of all, I'll say Patrick's gone in and done an amazing job. And Patrick was very astute. You know, Patrick's assistant coach was his pro license tutor. So when Patrick did his pro license with the Welsh FA, he's employed his tutor, or the guy that ran the pro license in Wales, as one of his assistant coaches. So he's using that intelligence, that knowledge to help him. Whether he needs it or not is another question, because I've kind of observed him a little bit down there and watched the way and the way he carries himself. And he's a very strong character. He's very demanding, and you can see the people are in awe of him down there. And he's doing an amazing job. Again, if you're looking at how many players break into those systems, this is one of the programs that Butch Faisal was involved in, who works in that area for the FA. And they're employing coaches now and coach mentors to work with the ethnic minority coaches now to start pushing pushing them to go for things and showing them pathways and helping them build the experience and the knowledge to go for those roles. The ex-players, you've got to look at how many black players have dropped out of the game that have tried to get into coaching or gone into coaching. And I suppose that the roller coaster journeys that some of them have been on, you look at Sol Campbell, you look at Paul Ince, you look at Chrissy Houghton, who's revered, by the way, but he's still had a real up and down time of it, done brilliantly in some roles and then still, kind of let go fairly quickly when things started to go badly and probably undeservedly. Again, they're still around and they'll still look to bounce back. But I think, again, you just got to look at all players in a sense. That's when you might look at Gerrard and Lampard again and Rooney. Do they need to go in it for financial reasons? No. So they're obviously going into it because for them, they still want to be in the game. They still want to be involved and they've still got a passion for it. So I think you've got, again, look deeper into who wants to do it and why do you want to do it. And if you're showing the same passion and desire and it's not just about it's a job. It shouldn't just be because I need the job. It should be because you've got that real self-belief and passion and desire to drive forward and give something back to the game and use your knowledge and experience to feed into players and help other players become what you aspired to be or were. And I think there's a lot of that going in now into discussion points and into training methods. And again, in the last few years in particular, the numbers are growing that are actually looking to come through now. And I think within the next 5 to 10 years, you'll see a lot more. If it goes away, it looks in the background from my own observations. I think it will definitely improve.
We have a question from Hendrik, and again, thank you to everyone that's tuning in. Thank you so much. Hendrik says, what was the biggest insight you picked up from going through your coaching steps, especially from the pro license?
That's a good question, Enrique. That's a great question. I think learning about myself would be the biggest answer. Learning more about myself, not only as a coach, but even as a player during the years. I mean, when I did the original FA advanced license, there was no B license back then. So I did the original FA advanced license at Lillishall, 2 weeks, or Colditz, whatever you want to call it. And I was on the pro one. That was before Uefa came into being. I then had to do the Uefa awards when they came in the 90s, late 90s. I did that one, and I was on a 2-week course with some of at that time, the biggest pros around. So the likes of Peter Reid and Jerry Armstrong, Tony Curry, Ray Hankin, Alan Irvine, and just being amongst those, coming from the background I had was I just learned about me, and I was petrified at times. But I managed to get through that. And the one thing I saw was the respect they gave me. They never looked down on me. Peter Reid in particular was awesome in the fact that he tried to help me. Every time I took a session, he was backing me up. He was in my ear. And I needed players. He was the first one that would volunteer. Yeah, Keith, I'll do it. But I learned about myself, how to get through adversity and learn to deal with fear because I was scared. And then obviously after that, I became a tutor in 1994. And I'd always been kind of a leader at school in different sports teams. And a guy called Darren Hare, who was in charge of the Kent FA at the time, he asked me to tutor on his courses. And it just kind of came naturally to me. So then I realised that I was good at that as well. So again, it just increased my confidence. Everything I did was increasing my confidence. So I learned to overcome my fears and I learned to become more confident in myself through the badges. And then I have to give massive respect to everybody that was on those courses with me and it's something I encourage whenever I tutor on a course, that the students on every course have to become a team in themselves and a support mechanism for each other. So again, that's where I started to learn how to be a mentor as well and be there for other people. And if I did that, I kind of hope they'd be there for me. So it was always a two-way thing. I'm not sure if that answers it, Enrico, but I hope so.
Yeah, no, and again, big shout out to Enrique is a teammate of like Jose. So again, big shout out to him.
Top player. Good guy. He's generally excited for this.
Great question. Great question.
Yeah, great question.
Okay,
Coach Barry.
Yeah, mine was quite similar because what I want to know from Keith, like you're going through each step, Uefa B, Uefa A, you're pro. As your coaching style changed and the way you view coaching, taking on players, the way you manage change each time you've gone up a level? Have you changed your style of what you do each time you've gone through these badges? Because it's all about experience.
Yeah, I mean, that you've answered the question in a sense, Barry. It is about experience, and the gaps were different. So between the UEFA A, which was in 1997, and the Pro 2012, that's 15 years.
Yeah.
And I think, again, that's the mistake some people make. They try to rush through the badges. And another message I always give is, once you get a badge, go and be it. So if you get a B license, go and be a B license coach for a time and learn what that is. And then look at the future to do the next one. Obviously, I applied earlier than that 15 years. So I didn't go straight away. I left it at least 5-6 years before I even started thinking about it. I had to learn what being an A license was. And my first job as an A license coach was to work on a community scheme for Crystal Palace. So doing a summer camp, getting the A license wasn't, again, a guaranteed job qualification. And then I got the job as the Centre of Excellence Director at Margate. It was the only FA run one in Kent at that time, not there anymore, but it was the only non-professional club that was allowed to have an FA Centre of Excellence back in that day. And no one else wanted to go down there, and I was living in Streatham at the time.
Wow.
I was driving because for me it was like, this is a job, and again that got me into a networking system, and I was allowed to go to events where all the pro clubs were, all the other centres of excellence, and again I got to meet pro coaches, top level coaches, and got to integrate and watch and listen and learn. So you'd go to a session run by Van Gaal, for instance, who'd been brought over when he was working for Curva and things like that. So getting out and networking and listening and learning from everyone else. And one of my main characteristics, I think, one of the main people I learned from characteristics-wise was Les Reed, who was technical director of the FA for a short time. At that time, he worked with the FA on the coach education side of it. He obviously went on to be director of football at Southampton. He was at Charlton for a while as well. But his kind of style, I took a lot from him. There's also things that I thought, I watched him working at Charlton and I saw the way the pros didn't respond to his style of coaching. So you've got to look at the players you're working with, what you've got to be, and what I've learned to be 100%. And I've used the analogy many times, you've got to be a schizophrenic. So I use a really old adage about different heads for different jobs. You've got to have a set of heads. Look at who you're working with, and you change your style relevant to who you're working with. So I've worked with 5-year-olds, I've worked with 6-year-olds, I've worked with girls, boys, I've worked with Down syndrome. I've obviously gone to other countries and worked with non-English speaking. And each time you've got to change the way you are. So you've got to be able to do that. You can't just be one mindset. It's my way. You've got to learn my way. You've got to cooperate. You've got to work with them. You've got to quickly recognize what those players need and adapt and work with them, not make them work the way you want them to be.
But Keith, don't you think a lot of that's crept into the football? It's more about the coach and the manager now, more than actual team and players with a lot of coaching, modern day coaching. That's I see a lot in grassroots now. It's more about the coach and not looking at actual players or individuals as much.
But isn't it always been out there? But I think it's egos.
Egos. Yeah, that's the right word for it.
It's egos. And again, talking about today to somebody, I know we played a friendly today with this. I've just taken over a girls' grassroots team just to keep my hand in, because my weekends were freed up for the first time in God knows how many years. And we played our first friendly today, and people were asking about systems of play and formations. And I'm like, well, the formation has to fit your team. You know, we're not going to play three at the back because Man City do it. We're not going to play three because Liverpool do it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And this is what coaches are making the mistake of doing an awful lot. So they're going, oh, because they do it, we're going to play that way. But you haven't got their players, and you're not Pep Guardiola. You're not Jurgen Klopp.
Every team's trying to play out from the back.
Exactly. You've got to know who you are, who you're working with, and at what stage of development they're at.
Yeah.
What are you trying to achieve? And you have to know. You know, learning curve for me today, because I was disappointed with our performance initially at the time. When I've come home and I've sat and reflected on it, it wasn't so bad. And that's the other thing that is coming out in coaching courses, which I do like. You kind of go, there's a hot reflection straight afterwards where you're going a bit and it's buzzing around in your head. But when you go and sit down and think, you start to look at other things. And then your job is now, okay, I'm going to think about my next training session now. What am I going to work on? What do they need from me? What can I do to help them? Not, they didn't do what I said. And this is, you see it happening at grassroots football. You see it happening on pitches on, you know, there's still guys on the touchline screaming and shouting at under 8s and under 7s. Stay in position, do this, do that. It's still out there. I watch it as well. Yeah. And I think we've been working against it for years, but it's still out there. But that's because there's also a revolving door of coaches as well. There's a lot of them are parents, their kids stop playing, they stop coaching. So they get better at being a coach, then they quit because their kids quit. So then you get in the new guy who comes in and he hasn't had that experience. He hasn't learned from his own mistakes, if you like. And again, it is about learning from your mistakes. But the same as you say to a player, you know, learn from what you do. You've got to learn. You've got to recognise. And the massive word for me is humility. You've got to be humble enough to learn. Not to think you know it all, because no one knows it all. Klopp doesn't know it all. Guardiola doesn't know it all. Fergie didn't know it all.
Yeah. You know? Klopp did know it all.
Yeah.
Did you say Klopp? Yeah.
No, dear me. And again, thank you to all of the comments. Coach Keith, I've got a question. I'm not too sure if you could answer it, but it's from Louise or Lewis. Apologies.
My manager.
I'm a Portuguese coach with a Uefa B with 17 years experience, and I've been waiting since 2014 for can move on. So I can move on to do my license in Portugal. What UK country would you recommend I apply for my Uefa A and Uefa Pro, and why?
I think what you're saying, you can't get on the one in Portugal. That's how I read that. Is that right?
Yeah. It goes back to, actually, there was something I wanted to point out before, which is we briefly mentioned the fast tracking system, or if there is one, it's a situation in Portugal, and it's a massive concern at the moment for a lot of, especially grassroots or even some professional managers who are struggling to get on their next steps of coaching due to the fast tracking system for former players and through contacts, and unfortunately it's a reality at the moment, and obviously coaches have to seek elsewhere to pursue their passion, pursue their badges. So I think that gives a bit more background into our situation.
As I said, unless UEFA have changed the rules, and I know the associations have changed the rules here, because you've got the Scottish FA, you've got the Northern Irish FA, the Welsh FA, the English FA, even the Irish FA, the Northern Irish FA, the IFA are different to the Irish FA. You know that. I've been fortunate enough to do CPD work for the Northern Irish FA in Belfast, and obviously I work for the English FA. So again, off the top of my head, the English FA run a special international license where international students can come in. That's worth investigating. But again, you're probably looking at costs. It won't be cheap. I don't know what it is, but that would be based at St George's Park, and potentially tutors coming over, if you're working with the club in Portugal, coming over to watch you work in there, and you might have to be responsible for costs and things like that. The Northern Irish FA, you go and do a residential program there with them in different stages, so a week, and then you might come back for another week or days. I've seen a lot of South American, European, Portuguese, Spanish coaches on those courses with the Northern Irish FA. But they run a good course, very good atmosphere, very good results. So, but the Welsh FA as well got a really good record. So all of the home nations, I think, have got some form of access to overseas players, to European players, and so on, to go and do it. So I would personally email all of their associations and see what they come back with, and then decide from your own perspective, logistically and financially, what is the best deal for you. But I'm certain one of them would accept you. I'm certain one of them, if not more than one, would accept you. If not straight away, certainly at the first opportunity. The other way would be to come over to the UK and try and get yourself established at a club with your B license, which is possible, and be working here, and then look to apply from here somewhere in the UK.
Actually, picking up on that, given obviously Brexit and the work permit situations, our foreign coaches can they work in the UK as coaching and managers? Is there a way for them to still find the possibility to do so, or is Brexit going to be an issue?
I'm not a politician, Jose. As far as I'm aware, yes, it's still possible. I think it depends on almost having the job offer maybe before you come over, not coming over and thinking I'm going to come and find a job. But it's like me, I can still apply to jobs in Europe. I'd probably have to go through a process once they've accepted me, and I would expect whoever I'm being employed by to help me go through that process. So again, it's worth him looking at jobs around Europe and around the world and applying, even with the B license. There's people still looking. You know, there's guys on social media now, British Coaches Network and other people that they constantly scan Europe and the rest of the world for jobs. And again, people can go through them and they'll help them through the process. So a B license is a good enough qualification to work in another country. But it is going out and doing due diligence and sending your CVs in again and trying to relocate if that's what it takes. But again, a good employer will help you relocate. If they're not willing to do that, then they're probably not worth working for.
Yeah. Thank you.
Coach Keith, what's that been the worst experience for you in football, and actually what did you learn from that experience?
See, I'm making me sweat in this weather, man. These questions are making me sweat. and the fact that I'm a couple of stone overweight, that doesn't help. But, well, the actual worst would have been a leg break. I broke my leg twice. So both bones in my left leg, which put paid to any dreams of doing anything massive in the game as a player. So that was, tough process to get through, and then want to start playing again. And I was stupid, and I started playing far too quickly against advice. And hence, at the moment, I've got no cartilage whatsoever in my knees, and I need knee replacements. But from a job perspective, it would have been getting turned down on more than one occasion for a national team role in my home country. You know, some people that might have an answer to that and say that I wasn't good enough or I didn't deserve it. But I got turned down more than once to work with the England women's national team. And I felt that I'd done my apprenticeship working with Charlton Athletic Women, working with Millwall. When I saw on advertisements that you needed a pro license, you needed international experience. You know, I was working at the David Beckham Academy at the time, and I got the opportunity to go to Estonia. And I took it to get international experience. I took it and got my pro license. And even after that, I still didn't get past even application stage. I got through to interview stage once, and that was not a great experience. It was a 5-hour interview process with 5 different interviews on the same day, including the scenario, and having to cover analysis and having to cover a week's tournament program. And I was interviewed by people that I'd actually worked with or passed on their qualifications. One of them at the time was Marianne Barry.
Okay.
Yeah, and I still didn't get the job. So
Oh,
that was tough. That one was tough. And Pauline, my wife, came up with me to St George's. She was with me through that, and yeah, I walked out. I actually walked away from the interview thinking I might have a chance, but then you get the phone call, you get the email. You know, sorry, there was a high level of applicants, and at this time, you didn't quite meet the expectations, and you didn't quite meet the criteria. Blah blah.
That generic.
Yeah. But yeah, you know, I've only once in my whole career of applying for jobs, and it's most recently, only a couple of weeks ago, when I tentatively put in for a job that I wasn't really certain I wanted, but I thought I'd apply. It's the first time I've ever actually had a personal phone call from somebody to explain to me why I wasn't going to get the offer, and I really appreciated that phone call. That was massive for me, and I total respect for the guy that called me, and I understood it because I could have that conversation. It wasn't a generic letter that just seemed like the usual slap in the face, if you like. So I think out of, you know, respect, I can't tell you who that was, but let's just say it was an employee at Crystal Palace. So maybe that's filtered down from Patrick. Who knows? Who knows? But you know, it was a great phone call and made perfect sense to me why they weren't going to offer it to me. It wouldn't have fitted, but he explained it, so I understood it. A letter wouldn't have done that for me. So, yeah.
Coach Barry.
Well, I've got another sensitive question.
I need this one now, Bal.
Yeah, you're going to need that one. You're going
I don't drink, but I'll open it anyway and smell it.
No, I've been speaking to a lot. You've been in the women's game for a long time. I've spoken to a few women. It's a very sensitive point about how are women feeling and coaching everybody about transgenders coming into the women's game?
Wow.
I know that subject is very.
Yeah, I mean, obviously,
but you got your ear to the ground. You're in that, so you know exactly how.
Yeah. Very recent, again, ironically, Barry. When I was at Norwell Lionesses.
Okay.
This is a true story. I only had one goalkeeper there at the time, a keeper called Claire Lacey, and I needed a backup keeper. This was 2009, just before I went out to Estonia, and a keeper applied to come through a goalkeeping coach I know. He said this goalkeeper would like to come and trial, and this goalkeeper was a transgender that had the complete operation 2 years before.
Yeah.
Legally, they'd been signed off as a female. I wasn't clued into it all at that time. It was way back, as you can tell, but came and trained. You could obviously see the male characteristics still. Wasn't a world beater of a keeper, but was decent. And I let them train that night. It was kind of a funny atmosphere, and the girls were, I might say, subdued but apprehensive, the players. But it was nice to have another keeper there for the training session. We had two keepers. But shortly after that, the girls actually came to me with a representative and gave me an ultimatum that if I signed that keeper, they were all going to down tools. They were going to leave.
Yeah.
They weren't willing to accept her. So, unfortunately, I had to have that conversation. I couldn't afford for the team to disband over that, and I just said, sorry, I'm really sorry. I'd have given you a chance, and I would have. I was willing to, but couldn't happen at the time. Well, last week I went to watch a game between one team that's in my women's team's league and another team in the division above, and the team that's in our league has got, I think it's the same goalkeeper playing for them. And again, as soon as I turned up, I didn't recognise the individual, but I could see from distance it looked like a man. But when I got closer, the girl said, no, she's not a man. Basically, she's a transgender, and she's obviously allowed to play in the league that we participate in. And could you see the differences? I could see the differences in kicking, in strength.
Yeah.
One of the team I've taken over's players apparently got slightly injured in a 1v1 against that keeper last season, and wouldn't fancy going in a 1v1 again because of that. So if you look at that, is it fair? I think it's debatable, and it's certainly up for question. But obviously, you know, do you then unfairly say to this person that's obviously gone through hell, I would think mentally,
Yeah.
otherwise, do you say to that person, you're never going to be allowed to play football because you don't want to play in a men's league, or you can't now, and you can't play in the women's league? Where do they play? You know, where do they? Where are they allowed to play? So, you know, what would that do to that person if you barred them from playing a game that they obviously love? You know, would you then be responsible for that person doing something terrible, and then you'd regret it? So it's not a question that I can answer honestly. Did it look unfair to me in that game? Yes, it did. It looked an unfair.
No, I just want to know more like how I didn't know how the women felt about transgender.
Obviously, the women at that team have accepted it because they can see they've got a decent goalkeeper.
Yeah,
and that's their priority. That's maybe going to do well for them. That's going to stop goals. That's going to help them be successful. And the teams that are playing against that goalkeeper, my girls did say that last year one team did a kind of a protest at a game to say it was unfair. So I don't think it's going to be anything that's resolved or sorted out to anybody's total, I don't know what the word would be, satisfaction in the immediate future.
Yeah.
So it's really tough, and I feel for the individual, but I also feel for those, and I understand those that are not happy with it.
Yeah.
Because it is an advantage, there's no question.
Definitely. In the future, there might be a transgender team.
I know that they're looking at that, aren't they, in other sports,
Yeah.
specialist events, but to get a full transgender football team, to play another full transgender football team, you know, there's a team I think just been formed that's got a mix that are playing kind of charity games and other competitions. But if you go back to, you know, the old Stonewall team that started up years ago, the gay team, now that's grown in stature, and there are leagues now that are totally gay players.
Okay.
Gay men. There are leagues that the teams are majority or totally gay players. So there is organised leagues for them. So maybe in the future, but again,
I just think it could be dangerous.
Yeah, in reality, how many transgender players are gonna come out and do that and want to be footballers? It'll be a long time before that happens, Barry. I think there's an unfairness about it when it's in a team sport like that, playing against where there's potential one-to-one contact with female players, and the physical disparity is still there.
That's where the dangers lie.
There's a real danger to it. I mean, if you go back the other way, and years ago they put female players into the men's game, they experimented with that, be it Prince for Germany and the Italian player that went to Pisa. They were like novelty effect. They were like just to get a bit of media hype. It was never going to work, you know, where they could play against men. The bottom line is, and the top female players will still admit that to you, the physical differences are still far too big for that to not be a risk factor for physical injury. That's the long and short of it.
And talking about keepers, your wife is a former England international goalkeeper, fully fledged. So could you kind of literally talk about your wife's experiences in the game, playing for England, and of course now that the Euros are on, and again, you know, it's just some, you know, exciting times for women's football.
Yeah, my missus is known as Copey. Pauline Cope was her maiden name. I'm biased, but she was definitely probably one of the top 3 to 5 keepers in the world during her time. She appeared on TV a few times. She trained at the Cliff with the Man United keepers, and Fergie apparently said to her, "If you was a man, I'd sign you." She played for Millwall Lionesses. She played for Arsenal. She played for Croydon Women, and obviously her last seasons were with me at Charlton Athletic. She played 60 times for England. She was an inductee in the Football Hall of Fame at the National Football Museum in Manchester. Yeah, she's on the Caps wall at St George's Park. Great character, known for her verbal as well as her playing strengths. Brave as a lioness. She would sing the national anthem out loud with immense pride. Never played pro. So that was before she's too old. It's like players like Karen Walker, who's one of the best number 9s England's ever had. They never played pro. They never got paid. The best they got was some expenses by the time they played for Charlton. And it wasn't massive amounts of money. But she didn't play for the money. She played because she loved the game. She was a season ticket holder at West Ham for her troubles. She's passionate about West Ham. Sings bubbles at the top of her voice as well. Her brother, who unfortunately passed away a few years ago, was he was a West Ham nut, so they'd always talk West Ham. She knows the game inside out. She's very, very knowledgeable about the game. She still watches the games, and she's still critical and praiseworthy when it's due. But she does analyse all the keepers. She should have caught that. She should have done this. She should have done that. But no, I'm immensely proud of her. I'm proud that she's my wife. We've been together 23 years now. We met when I was coaching her nephew. I was single at the time. I'd not long split up with my wife, and for other reasons, and not through her. I was on my own for some time, and I was coaching her nephew, and I was introduced to her by his dad, and we just started speaking football, and we knew the same people. We talked about the same things, and it was like a match made in heaven, for want of a better way of putting it. But no, if you ask anybody that played with her or in front of her, she was immense. She could win a game just talking to her team in front of her. You know, I think her best season in something like 30 games, she only conceded 8 goals.
Wow.
She was
Tobrise to do a women's show. Tobrise.
Yeah.
Great one for a women's show, you know.
You do well to get her on. You do well to
That'd be a great show. That'd be a great show.
Yeah, it'd
I
be
don't think
amazing.
you've done a women's show, have you?
I've done one, but I would love to do more. So Keith, you know, I'm gonna get your wife on 100%.
Well, you do well.
I know. Jose, your like question, please.
I would love to hear about your highest moments in football. So your proudest achievements. What was the moment? You know, the most enjoyable moments of your career. What would you say?
I guess again, there's more than one, but
if you had to pick one,
the biggest one, you know, and people may again that are not into the women's game would probably go, but when we finally won the FA Cup with Charlton Women, the Women's FA Cup was the holy grail back then. That was the ultimate. Now, before the Super League and everything else, the Women's FA Cup was it was the only game at that time that was actually shown live. So to get there, that was the pinnacle at that stage. And it was played at Upton Park. Obviously, Copey's the old West Ham ground, so she was buzzing to be playing in goal there. And we'd been in the final the 2 years previous and lost to the almighty Arsenal women's team and the Fulham team that had gone pro under Fired. So they had the Norwegian gold medal winning players. And we lost 3-0 and 3-0 respectively, I think, in both of those. But we were the underdogs. And we finally got to the final the third year. So 3 years running, we got to the final. And the third year became third time lucky. Everton had beaten Arsenal in the semi-final. and we'd won our semi-final. So we were facing Everton in the final, assuming we were going to be playing Arsenal again, but we actually ended up facing Everton, who'd beaten Arsenal 3-0 in the semi. So we thought, wow, this is different. And the lead up to that, I lost 3 of my best players. I lost Katie Chapman, who played for me then. I lost Eartha Pond, who was probably the best left back at that time in the league. And I lost my number 9, Carmine Walker, who was an England international. Katie and her England internationals, Eartha should have been. And I lost those 3 the week leading up to the final. And I had to bring in reserve team players and players that had been on the bench and shuffle my back line. So one of my centre backs went to right back. A girl that hadn't played a lot at all had to go in at left back. And I had to shuffle my forward line and risk a girl that come back from injury. Had been a great player for me anyway. And I had Eni Aluko up top with this player, Anne-Marie Heatherson. And yeah, Eni got the winning goal halfway, 2/3 way through the first half. It was a great goal, but it was a great game. We ended up winning 1-0. But the relief at that final whistle was, we finally done it. And the celebrations were great, you know. Obviously, Kobe was buzzing again because it was at the ground she loved. And yeah, it's a memory you'll never forget. And I'll never forget. But that would be the absolute peak. But I always say that my greatest achievements are, in reality, the people that I've worked with as coaches that have gone on to achieve even more than me. And there's a few of those. I won't name them, but there is a few of those. And I look at them with massive pride. And I keep in touch with many of them. And that gives me a hell of a lot of satisfaction because I know I was a part of their journey.
Love that. Love that. And Coach Barry, your final question?
Final question.
Final question.
Let's do an easy one, innit? I've been
an easy one?
I've been bugging Keith all night. What I want to know is there any chance of you getting onto them boards where they do the processing or selecting or the training of coaches? Have you tried to get on there? Because you've got so much experience from there. I don't understand why England or someone hasn't called you up.
I can't answer that, Barry. I think other people need to answer that.
Have you applied for anything like that though?
They don't advertise those kind of roles. They don't advertise those kind of roles. And as I said, the gentleman I work with now, Butch Faisal, is in charge of all of the BAME and the female game improvement and opportunities and stuff like that. And he's very respectful, and I respect him very, very much. And he'll call me and ask for advice and ask for my thoughts, and I'm quite happy to give that advice to anybody. But the FA actually invited me into one of those kind of things. I mean, it's kind of happened weirdly in a different way, in the fact that, and I think it's something Tobrise was going to push me onto at the end. During the recent change in courses, the old level 1 is now called an introduction to football that's gone totally online.
Yes, and I've seen it. It's all online now.
So you've got the Playmaker, the free one, that's a great way to get people interested. But then the level 1's a totally online course. When I saw that, I designed a course that I run under the Palace Foundation banner. And it's called Kick Off Your Coaching. I originally called it an introduction to football coaching, but that name was stolen. And basically it's a 12 to 15 hour course that I designed based on the old level 1s, some of the stuff out of my kids' books, because I've published 3 children's football game books called Fun Games for Kids. And I used some of the games from that, and some stuff from the old level 2 as well. But what I do is I gauge the audience. Going back to what you talk about your players, I gauge the audience. So when I come onto my course, I meet the audience and I gauge what do they need. And I adapt the course for them. And I've run 6 or 7 now, and they've gone brilliantly. And now the FA are looking at bolting on a 3-hour face-to-face element to this new course. and they want me to be involved in a discussion on Wednesday next week, just talking about and how that fits. And Surrey FA have kind of made a decision to use my course as a bolt-on for that first one, and to award CPD points for it as well for anybody that comes on it, which is great, because it is CPD. You're getting 12, 15 hours with me. You should be entitled to some CPD. And we charge a really nominal amount for it. It's a really low rate, only 25 quid a head for 15-hour course. And we give a certificate from the Palace for Life. And people that do that course, Palace for Life have employed some of them just on the back of doing my course. As long as they've got their safeguarding, their DBS and their emergency aid, the foundation have employed them for our summer camps and stuff. And then we still guide them onto the FA courses because they're integral. But at least we know they're getting a good face-to-face element and a good grounding if they want to push on and do the other awards. And then on top of that, they get me as a mentor. So by signing off with me, they get me as a mentor for the foreseeable future. Once somebody's linked with me, I never give up on anybody. My emails go crazy, but I never ever not answer an email or a message unless it's gone astray into junk or something like that. I always respond. Kind of this one.
Keith, the kick off the coaching is that. Can we just go online and find
it? At the moment, there's one being advertised on the Palace for Life Foundation website. They're running one in August at Selhurst. There's one running in August at Selhurst. So that's on the Palace for Life website. But I'm sure now if you Google it, it'll probably come up because I've run so many. But you'll see it on Twitter and Facebook on my name. For sure.
Thank you.
So literally anyone out there, just kind of please Google Keith's name and just put coaching or like kick off to like coaching football. You will literally see all of the courses and experiences that Keith's involved in. Jose, your last question.
So from your coaching past with clubs, what was the toughest period that you faced, and what helped you get through that?
Actual coaching, I think right now I'm struggling a little bit after. Again, it's a bit similar in a sense. When I first went to Estonia, I obviously left my wife behind, so she stayed in England because of her job and because of our home. And I was initially only going on a 3-year contract at most. And I remember the night I left home, the tears and the feelings of separation and the gut wrench feeling was awful. And I arrived in Estonia in minus 12 degrees in January. And when I landed, I was put in a little kind of motel with a very not clean bed and an old TV on top of a broken fridge. And I started crying. And I thought, have I done the right thing? What the hell have I done? And I really doubted myself again then, and it was tough. I wanted to jump on a plane and come back. But I kind of called her, and she was always so supportive and always has been and is. She's such a rock that she just went, wait till tomorrow, wait and see what happens. And then I went in and we did the introduction. We did a press conference. They showed me the apartment I would actually be living in, which is a decent apartment in the middle of Tallinn, the city. Car, laptop. Showed me my office at the stadium. And I thought, oh, now this is more like it. So then rolling on a little bit further very quickly, first training session I ever did with the national team, minus 10 degrees. I walked out, I nearly froze to death. They all came out just like Eskimos. I walked out looking like England team coach with my shorts on. Soon ran back indoors and put on a Michelin suit. But then we did the under-17 national team trial and invited all of the under-17s in Estonia to come. And about 20 turned up because it's such a small country. and only one of them could juggle a ball more than once at age 16. And I remember looking at the guy I was working with and thinking, oh my God, we're in trouble. What are we going to do? So I had to regress almost to a U10 mentality, U8 mentality to coach those girls. And I'd been expecting I'm going to be coaching national team players, and I had to accept, actually, I have to start to build this from the bottom up. And that's what I did. And I did it very successfully. So I ended up being there for nearly 8 years, and the whole program grew.
Yeah.
Winning this award, which is it's called the Gold Star. The Gold Star is up behind me. And not many people win that. It's their biggest award in the country. So again, very proud of that. And yeah, it was a tough time at first, though, but I ended up asking my wife to actually, we weren't married at the time, but I ended up coming back the next year and got down on one knee and asked her to marry me. Yeah, it actually made us stronger. It's one of those things that made us stronger. Yeah. And we're still strong, massively strong. And yeah.
Love that.
I love to hear that, because football is, a lot of people don't get this insights into what football really is like.
When I introduce my coaching journey in full, which also includes my non-football side, I use the picture of a roller coaster, and my life has been a roller coaster. In and out of football, it's been a massive roller coaster, as big as the one in Blackpool and as low as the one in Blackpool at its lowest point. So that's what it is. That's what our journeys are like. And you've got to accept that. It's never going to be smooth. It's never going to be one way up. It's always going to be that.
Yeah,
definitely. That's just the truth of it.
Yeah, 100%. Keith, honestly, thank you so much. And I think Stuart really summed it up. Thanks for the chat, guys. Half message appeared. I think he sent a message, but again, appreciate your humility, Keith. Honestly, thank you so much for kind of giving us such an in-depth insight in terms of like your journey. And actually, so before we end this segment, so how can people find you? Like, is it kind of just Googling your name and just kind of searching? Yeah?
Listen, man, I'm quite happy for people to email me. I'm quite happy for people to hook up with me on Twitter. My Twitter name is @TallingGrizzly. Given to me while I was in Tallinn, and people used to say I was like a grizzly bear or a teddy bear, so it kind of stuck. So my Twitter name is @TallingGrizzly. By all means, hook up with me on there. I'm on Facebook under my own name. By all means, hook me up. If you say you met me on this show, I'll accept your friendship, and then I'll share my email with anybody that wants it. No problem. I'm not somebody who hides anything. And more than happy to help everyone.
Brilliant. And I will actually put everything in the description below. Actually, again, before we kind of depart, Keith, you've actually seen me play football. I mean, like,
no.
Go,
I was going to start singing Blue Moon then for a minute.
So, and like, be like honest, and like how did I play? What like certain things do you think I could improve on?
Oh my God! Now, man,
I've got to ask, man.
If I'm totally Tobrise, without blowing up your backside, when you came on, you did change the game for us. You started to take control of the back line for me. You were driving forward with the ball. You're winning your challenges. Very solid, very steady. That's how I would describe you. I would certainly in your prime, I would have thought you'd have made a great centre back or centre midfield player. Certainly in that level around where I've been involved in the Isthmian Premier League for the last 5 years, I'd certainly be comfortable having you in one of my sides at that level for sure. Higher than that, I'd be comfortable with that.
Was you played against men or women?
They actually played against a team of firefighters, Barry.
Okay.
It was a team of firemen who weren't too shoddy. They were decent.
Yeah,
size.
I know.
They were fit. They were fit and strong.
Yeah.
Our team wasn't so fit and strong, and he had to come on and give us a little bit of presence. We needed that.
Give me his props.
Thank you so much.
Great,
Honestly,
Keith. Great speaking with you, Keith.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
great to meet you, mate. Jose, great to see you. I know we spoke on the phone, but and the lad Stuart, the guy Stuart that messaged you, he's been through a tough journey himself. So
Okay.
he was listening. And thanks, Stuart, if you're still there. We'll speak soon.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Honestly, guys, thank you so much for being on the show. We will be back within a couple of minutes. And again, thank you to Jose, thank you to Coach Barry, thank you to Coach Keith for coming on. And
Jose, thank you to Coach Barry, thank you to Coach Keith.
There's a bit of an echo.
And
is that you, Shugs?
I'm going to switch off now. Great echo. Great echo. Great echo. Great echo.
And again, to Jose, thank you for coming on. Keith as
All right,
well.
Craig.
And
Please, I leave you in Sugsy.
yes, please. Yes, please. You are now free to vamoose.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thanks a lot, mate. Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
See you guys later. See you later. So literally next segment is literally myself and Shugs will be kind of coming on to actually talk about league. Actually, I'll say Division 1 of the Vets League, and we will start right now. Shugs, how you doing, sir?
midday,
I can't hear you.
No, Papa.
Oh,
I said I'm here.
Yeah.
Can you not hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Thank you for joining us. How's your Sunday going?
It's blessed, man. Belly full, skin tan, nice.
So the title of this segment, Strike It While It's Hot, Division 1 chat. We was supposed to have this conversation or this show on Friday, but due to logistical reasons, I had to move it onto the back end of this show. And again, thank you so much to kind of Coach Keith, Coach Barry, and Jose for jumping on, and actually again for Coach Keith to actually talk. I'd say to talk about his experience. But hey, this is now the Masters Show, Division 1. Shugsy, you are part of the independent army. How is preseason going?
I mean, until you sign, you're never really apart. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, preseason is going well. Putting it in, some good sessions, some new faces, some old faces. So it's good, man. And to be honest, it's just a nice bond. It's a nice way to bond as a team, because at the end of the day, when you come mid-season like myself last season, it is sometimes hard to get to understand different individuals and different individuals to understand your game and all that. So now is where it really starts. You know what I mean? Enjoying it, to be honest. The pain, the more painful it is, the more enjoyable it is. It's weird. I haven't felt like that since a kid, so it's nice.
Love that. So this chat is literally, I'd say, our own opinions in terms of the Division 1 contenders in the league. So you've got Santos, Independent, Glebe, LSU, Masters, New Park, and the Charcoal. And we there's been a lot of conversations about the teams that were in that graphic. And I would just like to say, I can only speak on my own personal opinion. Maybe Shugs is we did have a quick discussion, but I would say this is our own opinion. Everyone has their right, to literally voice their opinions, and there's certain clubs that maybe should be in that conversation, and there's certain clubs that some people may not think should be in that conversation. But again, this is just our own opinion, right?
Definitely that. I mean, could I just say that I think sometimes people get too caught up in people's opinions. We're not saying it's a fact. We're saying what we believe. So at the end of the day, my opinion differs to Tobrise's. So if Tobrise has an opinion, should I take an offense to his opinion? That's what he believes. So we just have to respect his opinion. It's the freedom of speech. So we should all stop getting caught up in it. We, by all means, give us stats that correct certain things that have been stated or certain evidence. But it's opinions. At the end of the day, you still have to play the game. You still have to win the game. And whoever takes it, takes it. And if we've not chose one of the winners, potential winners, then that's their motivation to say, you know what? You lot didn't put us in the running and we won it.
Yeah. Simple as that.
Simple.
Simple as that. Simple as that.
Simple.
So I am gonna, and again, thank you to all of the teams that kind of sent me, you know, little kind of statements. I literally put out a question to each team. And the question was 3 influential players from last season and objectives for this coming season, 2020 to 2023. So I'm going to be running through what the teams have said. Shugsy's not seen any of the statements. And again, you know, Shugsy, from like you, I'd like to kind of love to kind of get your opinion about what they've said. And then literally we'll just move on to the next team. So let's kind of go via, I say champions first. It's only fair. So this is what Charcoal said.
Champions last, but hey, let's go.
No. You know what's coming. You know, champions first now. So this is what Charcoal said, and I'll literally read everything. And literally, I just want to say, you know, of course, some of it I had to paraphrase because, of course, you know, it would literally take too much time. But you know, I think, you know, everyone will literally get what I'm trying to say anyway within a statement. So this is what Charcoal said about the players. We have no superstars in our team. Last year's achievements was the whole squad affair. Every single one of them was influential. So that's what Charcoal said regarding players who were influential, or 3 players from last year. Regarding objectives, this is what the representative from Charcoal said. The togetherness, fight, character, and spirit was the difference with us to the rest. This season, we are just there to compete. To emulate last year's success would be difficult. A second time round to win a league and 2 cups is a very long season. So many games we played last year. It won't happen again. So that was Charcoal's statement. Shugsy, I would love to get your opinion about that.
All right, you may have to run me back past the second one, but I'll deal with the first one first. They do have some standout individuals. I'm not going to name them. We've mentioned certain names on the show before, so they do have some standout individuals. But most of the players, a large majority of the players, I've known prior to them playing for Charcoal, and seeing them play, I would more go with that statement than against that statement, in the fact that they're definitely a very well drilled side who play for each other. They literally, everyone knows their role, everyone knows their position. Even the people on the bench don't seem upset, and sometimes they rotate their bench. They make tactical subs. So I would say that's a pretty accurate statement. However, there are some evidently, outstanding individuals that, if they weren't available, could cause a bit of problem to the balance. But we move.
Cool. And then the second statement. Yep.
I'll tell you what I get from it without even going into it. It sounds a bit underplayed. I don't know why, but it sounds underplayed. But the togetherness fight, character and spirit was the difference with us to the rest.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. Well,
well, to be honest, we haven't seen the opposition, but I would say if I went by the final, which wasn't the first division, which was obviously by a lower division, you could see that spirit took them through that final. Although they won it comprehensively, it was a spirit that you could see, the spirit of one team break and the spirit of one maintain, if not grow. So definitely see that. and then it says the season we this season we are
Yeah.
just fit to compete to emulate last year's
Season
success with difficult a second time.
Yeah, well, listen, I mean, I think
Yeah.
Charcoal are playing it down in terms of they're just there to
Yeah.
compete. They are definitely there to win.
Yeah.
And 100%, I do agree. It's going to be hard for them to do exactly what they did last season. Facts. So
I think they've given everyone fire in their belly because of the banter, because of basically meeting their objectives, and just letting people know we are top boys. Pretty much, they were saying they were top boys before they were top boys, and now they've met their words. So you can't take anything away from them. They said they were going to do it, and they did it. So kudos to them.
Yeah, and again, I think if you kind of look at most of the Charcoal, lads, cosmetically, you wouldn't say that they could play football, but again, they're like togetherness, and again, they are a well-oiled machine. Everyone knows exactly what they have to do.
I think only because I know a lot of the names actually that I would have disagreed in the cosmetic, because when you know what someone can do, you're already like, I know this guy's a baller. So I'm not looking at him thinking they can't play. I'm thinking they should be able to play. So I guess if you have never seen them, that would be a true statement.
Yeah. Cool. But actually overall, thank you to Charcoal for that statement. So let's go on to Glebe. Glebe didn't get back to me. So
okay. Would you say, and maybe I'll ask you the question, would you say that's tactical? Is that deliberate, or do they just lack a secretary?
Well, I will be honest with you. They are not as, I'd say, present on the socials as like the other team. So of course, I've got numbers of like players and like whatnot. But yeah, again, they didn't get back to me, which is fair enough. They finished second. They won the League Cup as well. So yeah, I think they'll be pretty buoyant in terms of how the season finished. But again, kicking on now to kind of compete with Charcoal and to kind of compete with the other teams around. Vets football is, especially this year, it's going to be pretty difficult to literally go through a season unscathed. But Glebe like have the history, they kind of have the experience as well. It just would have been nice to have heard from a representative in terms of what they thought about last season.
I mean, to be honest, Tobrise, I think with some teams, this social media thing is new to them, and they don't really want to do their business on social media. If you look at a lot of professional clubs, they used to hate that their football players would go on social media tweeting and like putting out these comments, maybe putting pictures of them in clubs. That's not what the club wants, even if the club's aware of it, because what people don't realize, clubs are more aware of players' activities than is put out there. Social media just confirms it. So maybe Glebe are saying, you know what, we had a good season, second and a trophy. We don't want to talk. We don't want to get into all of this, setting goals for us to trip up on. You know what I mean? Like, we're just happy doing our business quietly. And at the end of the day, team finishes second. They beat Charcoal. They have to be. They have to have a big say. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, facts. And Chugsy, I have a question after the show for you.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna say nothing, but hey, we'll actually wait till after the show. Third place team was LSU Masters, and this is what they said regarding the influential players. Players to watch, all of them. and and then literally what the representative said regarding this coming season. Inspirations to dominate Vets football and to take it to a place it's never been yet. Conquer everything inside the M25, and as soon as the national starts back back, go and win the National Cup again, County Cups, National Cups. Alone, we want to be the best. Would love to get your reaction, Shugs.
Well, the first comment is such a South London comment. It's such a, you know what? No matter where we go, you're gonna remember us, and that's what they're basically making sure that people know. If you think you're gonna handpick who our important players are, you got a problem. You got a big problem. If you're gonna mark this player and mark that player, double up on this player, double up on that player, even triple, you're gonna have a problem, because our 11 plus our subs are a problem. And they're basically, unlike the champions, they're making a statement of intent, which is domination. So, hey, kudos. I hope they can live up to it. It's a lot to live up to, but it's, and I wouldn't see it as arrogance, because some people might look, who they think they are, talking like that. Why not talk like that? Isn't it better to say good things of yourself than bad things of yourself? Isn't it better to boost up the individuals within your setup than to say, you know, we're just glad to compete? Who's glad to just compete? Who's glad to just get kicked in the shin? Who's glad to come out just in the cold? Who's glad to just shake the hands and have a beer? You want to win. So, and that's what they're saying. We want to win. We intend on winning. We're here to take it all. So we want to set the benchmark. Hey, respect to that.
Yeah. I think what Charcoal did last season, again, it's kind of fired up a lot of teams, including, you know, LSU and yeah, they mean business. I've kind of now had the pleasure of actually playing with JB. I know in one of like my last shows, I was kind of talking about, you know, I would literally love to see him play, and I've played with him. I mean, boy, like, it made my life a lot easier, 100%, and the movement and the awareness and the vision. And just
did Lloydie play?
And Lloydie played as well, and like Smudge played as well, and it was, you know what I'm saying, like, I just,
what do you think of Lloydie?
Oh, telling you, like, you know, I can just imagine him in his prime, just literally, you know,
told you.
Like, he just conducts play, and again, you know, without kind of talking too much about it, you know, that is like, when you can have a very clear voice with clear instructions, it makes the game so much easier. And yeah, like, how like they just found little pockets of space, and like, you know, everyone knew where to. It was just a joy to behold as a centre back. 100%. It made my life a lot easier. So yeah, no, it was good, and I think LSU are going to be one of those teams. Thereabouts, 100%. So let's go on to a team. Let me just kind of say right now, and again, I'm gonna kind of just say it now. I didn't say Stansfield. I don't know if you said Stansfield, but you know, that was a team for me would be in the running. I could be proved wrong. But you know, we kind of both chose these teams, and again, hey, like, it's just our own opinion. So, and again, would love to get someone from Stansfield onto the show or in the comments as well. So we'll just move straight on to Newpark. So this is what Newpark said regarding their players. Ricky, the goalkeeper, his commitment and performances were man of the match worthy every single week. And the second player is Darren Bridges. He certainly found his love for the game again, and he is one, if not one of the best players on the park in most weeks. And the last player is Karim, our Moroccan winger. He finished the league's top goal scorer after playing only half of the games. Once fit, this player will be unstoppable. Shugs, I'd love to get your reaction. Actually, let me kind of go to their aspirations for this season. Our objectives are simple this season. It's Vets football. So to play, enjoy, and booze. However, don't write us off. I love that. Actually, hold on. And they've continued. Apologies.
Okay.
Sorry. If we stay committed and injury-free, we will give all teams a run for their money. People quickly forget that when we played the best teams, we performed and took points. Key is staying injury-free for us, but a couple of cup runs would be nice. Shugs, your response.
Yo. Well, first of all, it was nice that they picked 3.
Thank you. Yeah, 100%. 100%.
So kudos to New Park. I actually did a little research on them and found that I actually know a few of their players. One of the 3 players they mentioned, I've refereed. I'm not going to name which one it is, but they're right in their what's that? I've been shot. What's all right, I'll come back. I saw a comment and I don't know what's being said, but I'll read it properly.
No, carry on.
Okay, cool. It's all love anyway.
Yeah.
All right. Sorry. I saw the comment and I just lost my train of thought. I'm back. Let me get my composure. Zen. All right, I'm back. All right, I'm good now. Yeah. Big up Charcoal, by the way.
Yeah. Big up Charcoal.
All right. So one of the 3, and I've seen play numerous times, and I would say that statement is very correct. I told you I'm not going to say. I'm going to say I know one of the players. That's all you need to know.
I think it's Karim.
You go with whatever you believe. The beauty of this is you don't know. That's the beauty. But it's one of the 3. So you got, you got 1 out of 3 chances of being right. Anyway.
I love that. I love that.
That's it. But yeah, so love that. They're also underplaying it a bit like the old Sharks there. But at the same time, I think they've got the right attitude, as in, don't take this thing too seriously, because especially if Vets football, we want to win. We want to score the most goals, do all the great things, but don't lose the enjoyment. So let's say someone does or says something that you don't like, shake your hands at the end of the game, have a drink. And if you did wrong them, just apologize. It's not that serious. We got to protect our mental health. You know what I mean? Some of you lot are leaving the game and going into hell. So don't make hell on the pitch as well. Enjoy it. So what they're saying is, look, we want to have fun, and then we want to shake your hands, have a hug, have a little conversation, and then go back to our lives. You know what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, we're not just going to roll over. Nothing, you know what I mean? They got a little good setup there. I had a little, I had to do my journalistic thing. I was like, okay, you play there. Okay, you play. All right, decent side.
Yeah. I think they also played a lot of it down. However, I do like the kind of they're just there to enjoy themselves, because again, that's what Masters football is about, to like enjoy yourself, have a drink, but also as well, hey, like we're like still here to compete. We're not gonna just kind of come here and like let you kind of do like whatever you like want with us. We're gonna compete. So again, I think New Park are gonna be a dark horse. So let's kind of move on to the next team. So now we're kind of going on to the teams that got promoted from Division 2 to Division 1. So let's start off with the champions right now of Division 2, which is kind of weird to say for Division 1, but hey, let's kind of go with Santos. And they've said the key players. Let's hold on.
We'll get there.
We will get there. Oh, there you go. Gary Moore, big character, presence, and voice. He has been committed and filled the team with confidence. So Gary is the goalkeeper. The next one is Dan. Dan played the whole season out on the right, whether being as a forward midfielder or being a centre forward by trade. He works hard, contributes goals and assists. He's 100% committed.
Mm-hmm.
And also as well, the representative from Santos has mentioned Kelvin, 13 games, 12 goals, and Brett, 8 games and 7 goals. And they definitely made the difference. And their objectives for this season: try and win as many games as possible, stability, and to leave a mark and keep doing things the Santos way.
What is
Shuggsy,
the
your
Santos way?
Good question.
I hope someone is watching.
Good question.
Because what is the Santos way? That would be interesting, and that's not a loaded question. I don't know the Santos way, so I would love them if someone's tuning in, like Ash. Maybe you could break that down. Maybe Gary could break it down because he's not short of a word, that lad. How would I say it? Well, second team to give us 3 influential players. A striker scored what, 13 in 12 games? Is
13
that right?
in 12. That's Calvin.
Kelvin.
Sorry,
yeah. That's good stats. And also, yeah, from what I saw playing against them, Gary's definitely influential. You need a keeper that basically tells his backline what he wants from them and gets everyone doing what they want, what they should be doing. I guess he's like a guy, most probably, and correct me if I'm wrong, that will remind them of what the objectives were prior to the game. He makes sure those objectives get done on the pitch. They're being diplomatic in their objectives, which, to be fair, it's one thing winning the second division. It's another thing competing in the first division. So they're possibly thinking, we're not going to go in there and start saying, yeah, we're going to do what we did last season. It's not that we don't want to, or we're not going to try to do what we did last season. However, we want to basically win some games, make sure we re-establish ourselves as a first division side. You know what I'm saying? So I guess that's what they're mostly saying. Look, we want to make sure that you come to Santos's ground, or Santos come to your ground. You got worries on your hand. And to be honest, they're a good bunch. They're a good bunch of lads. Bit of bants. They fight. That's what you really want, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, it's quite ironic. Let me go to the objectives. When they say to make a mark or leave a mark, that's kind of what they do. Like they're a very physical team. Like,
they do.
You know what I mean? Like they know how to mix it, but also as well they know how to play football. And something about Santos that they probably don't. Well, no, tell a lie. They like probably do know. So they like train next to Catford.
Yeah.
And the Saturday that just went, so it was pretty hot, probably in the 30s, must have been 29, 30.
Yeah.
And they must have been training for at least 2.5 hours. At least 2.5 hours. And they had an army of at least 25 to 30 players. And literally we could see them as kind of Catford players. We could see them, and they were doing shuttle runs, drills, and like they were going. I mean, it looked like they were going full pelt in absolute heat as well. So they're like taking the season seriously. Catford. Santos are going to take the season seriously, 100%. And they've like kind of got a good mixture of a bit of gold dust, but also like the physical side of it as well. If they play how they train or how we saw them train, then yeah, it's going to be a decent season for Santos.
Could I just say, I never go gym, never. Just strong, natural strong. That's headed at you. I leave that to marinate. I leave that to marinate.
Okay. Well,
I leave that to marinate.
Well,
Yeah?
well, literally, we'll be
Natural, my brother. Natural.
okay. Well, I mean, well, like we'll be talking about that maybe
No, we're
again
not.
after. Listen, again, it was you that brought it up. I'm just saying, with the comments, regarding the video, again, like it looked like you're a Marvel or DC fan because how you flew in the air, like Superman would have been proud. That's all I'm saying.
There you go. He wanted me to respond.
No. I mean,
all right.
But like,
let me just let everyone know.
No, hold on.
It was you that. Let me just let people know. You can't out banter me and you can't rattle me. I'm not rattled. Huh?
No, but like you are rattled because you just showed me your bicep. I'm thinking, like I didn't say nothing.
No, I just wanted you to see that. No, I'll tell you why I did that because you were talking about training. You were just talking about training. When Santos' training, so I just thought I'd just remind you about natural strength.
Yeah, because like you was triggered by something that I said. I didn't talk about you.
No. I wasn't triggered. It's that you made an incorrect statement. You said definitely. Remember I said to you early at the start, I said people that make incorrect statements. You said
what did I say?
Definitely. You said he definitely does weights. 100% he does weights or whatever. Your words
on the show. What is it on the show?
Oh no, you said it on social media.
Well,
so I'm just letting you know. So I'm just letting.
Saying.
So I was letting you know that was fake news.
Oh, okay. So you let me know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you let me know on something that I didn't mention on this show, saying that you were triggered.
It doesn't matter.
It's showing me your bicep. You were showing me your bicep though. So
yeah, natural.
Boy,
on gym. Some of us don't have to go gym to get our muscles.
You know what? Like I may have a spare coupon for you to go to actually join Pure Gym.
I'll go. Anyway. I'll go for the sauna. I'll go straight to the sauna and chill.
Well, you know, that's what I'm saying. Like he's not rattled at all. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what.
Thank you, Charcoal. Thank you. Well said.
Listen. But you see, I didn't say nothing about
another
that
trophy
incident on. No, but see, I didn't say nothing about that incident on this show. And that's all I'm saying. But like,
no, I'm just saying that. Yeah. No, I was just saying that you're giving that information. Give it out true, innit?
Listen, I'm not saying
True's my guy. True's my guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just putting it. You know what, to be honest, I was coming for you.
I know Shucks. That's what I'm saying. You was triggered, which is cool. Just say you was triggered by my comment, and then we can talk about that afterwards. But don't start showing me your bicep like world's strongest man.
Are you scared? What did I intimidate you? Sorry for intimidating you. Sorry.
Okay. Cool.
Can we go on to the next team, please?
We will go on to the next team now.
That's it. That's all I want to do.
Okay. Listen. Anyway,
guys, triggered.
So the last team is Independent that finished runners up in Division 2, and this is what the representative said about the upcoming season and the 3 players who were influential last season. We do not want to take part as we do not want to reveal anything about us to other teams for next season.
Okay. I think that's another glebe. That's glebe right there. And that's what I was trying to explain to you about glebe. The only difference most probably is Independent made a statement.
Anyway,
okay.
No, okay. So literally, so she as a kind of independent, as an independent player, what's your reaction to the representative?
I mean, first of all, I respect any stance that my team takes. So you're not really going to get me to break down what my team's stance is. So all I'll say is the spirit is high, the vibe's good. Anything that was wrong last season has been addressed, has been spoken of, and that's it.
Okay. Cool. And what I can say about Independent again, like a very well-run club. They've got some amazing players that kind of literally know their positions. They kind of know their roles. Yes, at the kind of especially after Christmas, just things just changed. Of course, like I'd say like the loss of like Nelson was a kind of huge factor because he was very influential. But also as well, having 15, 16 players there every single week is a great thing to have at Vets. So you can kind of chop and change. Yes, there was a few issues with well, not issues, but I'd say probably like players that were kind of playing on slight injuries, and again, like the ground, as in like the grounds were like not like the best equipped. However, that's still no excuse. Well, like done to like Santos, but again, independent. I'm guessing I'd like doing their work behind the scenes. We're doing it very. I can imagine them being very, very focused. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting season. This like coming 2020.
I mean, I will say with independent, the main reason for the decline, I guess, is when you're in such a strong position, you can take your foot off the pump, and you get drawn into more the aesthetics, the things that don't really matter. And I think that's all it was. You just took the eye off the prize. Everyone, you know what I mean? There's not one person that took the eye off the prize and just stopped doing what got independent to that position. Moving on to this season, the only thing I could really say is independent don't fear any opposition. And every game's going to be competitive, definitely. So it's going to be I think it's going to be a great season. You know what I mean? As long as football wins, that's the main thing. You know what I mean? We all come out there, play good football, fight on the pitch, and be friends off the pitch. Not a problem.
Facts.
And I think that's what will happen.
I love John Jones's comment. Sorry, I'm just kind of scrolling up. I think this is directed at me. You lot need to invest and get a backdrop. The curtain business isn't matching the overall content. I love
now
that.
I agree with you, JJ. I agree with you.
I love that, Come on now.
But to be fair, the curtain is a bit better than seeing a picture of himself in the background. That run its course of time.
That is brilliant. FSS should have scored against Seagas last season. Yes.
Suge Knight, you should have scored against Seagas. With what chance are you talking?
I think they're talking about the open goal where, like, you got vexed. I think they've like probably watched the behind the scenes.
Okay. Well, you can only shoot. You can only score if you have the ball at your feet.
Okay. Simple as. So, let me and again, let me kind of again just say, as of course, I'm a kind of Catford player, and a Catford are not in Div 1. I am going to make predictions. Who's going to finish first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth? Like if like Shugs wants to interrupt or butt in, be my guest. But I'm gonna say, and again, at this present moment in time, this is my top 6, and then I can't include Stansfield. No, actually, like I might include them. So
don't bow down to pressure. Stick to your gun.
No.
Someone's comments has rattled you.
No, but again, like when I kind of look at certain things, hey, it is what it is. But okay, so let me start from let me say who I think is going to be champions. I think the champions of this season are going to be Charcoal. I think last season
Based on what?
Based on last season.
Okay.
Based on last season. Like, they like came into
let me just throw a curveball in. Who's going to win the Premiership?
Manchester City.
Okay.
But yeah.
You're being consistent. As long as you've learned the art of being consistent, I've taught you well. Continue.
What do you mean you've learned the art of consistent?
Well done. Well done. I'm impressed.
So literally, I think Charcoal are going to win it.
Mhm.
Second place are going to be LSU. Third are going to be Santos. Fourth will be New Park. Fifth will be Independent. Sixth will be Glebe. Yeah.
Okay. So 2 questions there.
Go on.
Why Santos third?
I think. Okay, so I think in terms of how I've seen them train consistently, and also as well, the last game against Independent, how they changed system and they changed tactics to actually counteract Independent strengths, and again that kind of shows a different level of management and discipline from each and every player, especially at vets level, because of course we know the older you become, sometimes you are stuck in your ways. So for players to actually take that on board and actually execute it well, I think they'll kind of go into Div 1 with the same mentality, 100%.
Okay.
So
can I ask my second question?
Go on.
All right. I spoke about consistency, and you said Charcoal will win it because they won it last year, yeah? Which is fine. Fine.
Charcoal? Yeah.
What? Yeah. Why has Glebe gone from 2nd to 6th? And they've won a cup, bear in mind.
Because
so why have you dropped them back? That now a comment was made to you that was about Johnson, being disrespectful.
No.
I think that's more disrespectful to say from 2nd to 6th. So all right, let me ask you a simple question. Do you think Glebe were lucky to get 2nd?
Glebe were lucky to get 2nd because LSU.
No, I'm asking you. Do you think they were 2nd?
Let me explain. Like I'm trying to explain. Yeah. The table doesn't lie, but of course, in terms of how like certain games were like being presented, they literally beat Charcoal when Charcoal down tools. Like okay, like it, like it is what it is. Like you still got to beat the team in front of you. But I believe if Charcoal didn't have the kind of cup-like finals to actually concentrate on, Charcoal would have beaten them. But don't forget, the league was already wrapped up. So
it doesn't matter.
No,
it doesn't matter. They beat them.
No, wait, 100%. But again, they're now seeing Glebe play against Catford in the final.
Yeah.
Yes, like Glebe won, but Catford had a hat full of chances. They should have been out of sight. I
get that.
So
I get
again.
But
wait, hold on. Let me finish. So literally looking at that squad and knowing that some of their players have left, some of their quality players. Trust me, like I kind of have that knowledge.
You done your research, yeah?
No. Like people call me, people DM me. Like I know of one player who I am pissed off about that. Like he's gone because I'm like, wow, I've actually called this player. Anyway, let me not go into that. So I know that they're weaker unless they have recruited. And of course, don't forget, Glebe haven't responded back to me. So I'm going
why
on.
you shouldn't.
Wait, hold on. Let me finish.
I'll let you go. I'll let you shoot.
No,
shoot your shot.
But again, that's the reason why I've got to, put them 6, because I can't put them ahead of Independent, because again, literally, I know of, okay, like players have left Independent, but again, I know players that have come in there as well, quality players as well. So I know, and again, I know Independent are not going to let what happened last season happen again. Yes, it's going to be tougher for them each and every game, But you know, every game that independent play, especially, they're gonna go into it like a cup final, like it's like the last match on earth. And I can just feel throughout the whole season, independent will have a lot more legs and a lot more bodies than Glebe will have.
Okay. I disagree with that comment for the fact that you have to put more respect on their name. Fair enough. You don't expect them to
Why?
do.
No,
I said
no,
fair
but
enough. You do. Wait, let me speak. As you said, yeah. I can totally understand why you think they won't finish in the top 2. That's fair enough. To be fair, for a long time, I think LSU A were in the top 2. And I think Glebe took it near the end, if I'm right. But the fact of the matter is, they were in second. They won a cup. You may say they got outplayed, but if you know how to win a game, you know how to win. There's many a side that has outplayed. I'm sure there's a few Tottenham fans out there. Tottenham have outplayed a few teams in their time, and they still haven't won. So it's not about whether they got outplayed. It's what they've done. What matters.
No.
At the end of the day, no, it does matter. No, the result is the result is the result. There's some teams that do not play attractively, but win. I would ask you now, would you rather be in an attractive playing team or a winning team? You don't want to, you know what I mean, play attractive and lose. So it doesn't really matter to me, the result. Like the team that played them off in the final, they're upset. They're upset because we played really well and we didn't pick up a trophy. And that's your team. So next season, they're going to be your team. This is what I'm assuming. They're going to be going in. We're not just here to play attractive. We're here to get results. So Glebe have got their results. So to drop 4 places, wow, that's a big statement from you.
Okay. So literally using your Premiership analogy, do you think Manchester United under Ollie deserve to finish second?
Yes. That season they did.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
That season they did.
Wait, hold on. Wait, let me finish. And then where did they finish the season after?
I don't know. I follow. You know which team I follow.
No, hold on. No, hold on.
Wait.
Shugs, answer the question.
Wait.
Answer the question.
Yeah, but they won nothing. Man United won nothing. Glebe did.
No.
Glebe won something. Man United didn't.
Answer the question.
Yeah. Man United underperformed last season.
No, but where did they finish?
Underperformed. They finished 6th. They finished 6th. They underperformed.
So you can have one decent season, like
they underperformed. They underperformed. Now, if a team underperforms, if it's like Independent, they underperformed second half of the season. That's why they didn't win the league. Santos played levels and maintained the levels second half. Yeah, they played high level and maintained it. That's why they won the league. So Man United just underperformed. They got the players to have done it, but some of the foolish results they had, I don't like Man United. Yeah, I have no reason to like Man United, but I'll always give a true reflection of what happened. They underperformed. Arsenal should not be ahead of Man United. So at the end of the day, if we're going to bring that in, that comparison, yeah, maybe if Glebe start underperforming, maybe they have lost a lot of players. But I'm just saying, at the start of the season, to put them 4 down list, like Man United, are they going to finish 6th again? Maybe not. Maybe they will actually, but hey, that's another story. But at the end of the day, Glebe, I just think is a bit harsh. This is vet football as well.
Listen, no.
It's your opinion, though.
No, wait. This is not just vets football. This is Masters football. People take it seriously. Do not kind of football off and just say this is just vets football. People now go out to play, actually looking to enjoy. Again, exactly what Kawuya said. They've won. Every team are going to show their quality because now, as like you've seen, and as you're a, I'm saying, like you're a quality player. You're not going to turn up to like vets football just say, oh, I'm just turning up. I'm saying, like every single team wants to win trophies. Every single team are gonna compete. Yes, there's a reason for like me to put.
Well, you part just want to get booze, have a booze. I'm joking.
But I mean, hey, like, you know what? Glebe proved me wrong. You know what I'm saying? Literally, you know, again, there's like no disrespect there. That's just my own opinion. That's like one humble man's opinion.
Although I said it was disrespectful to put them there, I know you're not intending to be disrespectful.
I know.
So once again, people shouldn't take that personally. For me,
I don't think they do.
For me, that's a motivation for anything any team or manager wants to say in person, more likely on Instagram. Use that as motivation for your team talks. Simple as that. Don't take anything personal. Whatever Tobrise says, he says more than me on thingy, but don't take it personal. You know what I mean? It is what it is. Just run with it.
Okay. So yeah, I think, you know, that is the roundup of like Div 1. I would love to get Shugsy your like a quick opinion about the behind the scenes. Actually, you know what? Let me just say this out loud. Let me kind of give you props. Yeah. So like when I was so like last season, without kind of talking too much, I was kind of injured, and again, I didn't know if I was going to be playing, and I kind of spoke to Shugsy about it, and Shugsy said, you know what, Tobrise, bring your camera, bring your camera and just do what you do best and just film. Like if like things happen, they happen. If they don't, but just bring your camera. So if it wasn't, you know, without Shugsy's idea, or, you know, like the behind the scenes stuff wouldn't have happened, unless Shugs actually said that. So Shugs, I'm kind of giving you your props live straight off. So literally it was Shugsy's idea. But I mean, I would love to get your kind of reaction over the behind the scenes footage that I got and put together.
I mean, I thought it was a great put together video. I was shocked that you got an hour out of the part 2.
Me too.
Yeah, I don't know how you did it. To be fair, as people may not realize, you were looking to cut it down a lot. And I said to you, no, you put it in 2 parts. Like, at worst scenario, put it in 2, because people need to see the whole story. Otherwise, people will get certain things wrong. Thank
you. Thank you. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Hello.
That's what I'm saying.
I need to go to your gym then. Is that membership still on offer? Yeah.
No.
Okay.
Hold. Wait, Shugs. I saw how you. Listen, I saw how you told changed. I saw how you told changed. Like when you can sort of feel. Thank you.
I'm a gentleman. Mum taught me how to be a gentleman. That's all. You know what I mean? But anyway, let's get back to the script. I've got a script. I'm reading off a script right here. Can't you see it? I'm reading off a script. Okay. Yeah. I thought it was very good to watch, even for myself, being a part of it and looking from the outside in can give you a different perspective. Even hearing certain things that were said, even that referee, that controversial referee, the Spanish one, and he said some things in one of the game which I didn't realize, and then he booked one of our players and we were complaining about it. But when if you look back to what he actually said, he actually he said this is what he wants, this is how he wants it. He said don't care about any other ref, this is how I want it, and moving forward. And things like that we need to take on board. The reason why is because those are the things that make us implode in the game, because we think, oh, he didn't do this right, he's an idiot, and then we use that as our reason to go off the ball, when the reality is you're not fighting the ref, you're fighting the opposition. You got to beat them, so stick to the script. You know what I mean? So there's definitely a lot of things that were it was good to watch, and some of the things were discussed in pre-season. The video hasn't been spoken about in pre-season, to be fair, but just some of the aspects have been discussed. But I think it was a good view by yourself. I know there were bits you could have added. People don't realize how much information you actually got, but yeah, like, you know what? A lot of teams, if not all teams, all teams go through different bits of that. You know what I mean? Even the teams that are winning to the teams that are struggling, they go through bits of that. So a lot of people would have related to a lot of those aspects. And you know what? Just remember, it's a game. Enjoy it. We know we're gonna have fallouts. You know, you're gonna be pissed off with a teammate. You're gonna be pissed off with your manager. You're gonna be pissed off with the referee. You're gonna be pissed off with the opposition. But you know what? We do it because we love the game. So we've also got to keep our mind more to the focus to the game. So yeah, it was great. I would encourage any other team to somehow get that done for their season, for this season coming. I don't think we should do it again independent. I think we've had our stint. I think it's time for someone else. It would be good to be in the charcoal dressing room, wouldn't it? But that's just a suggestion from me. Actually, it'd be good to be in new parts because it'd be a lot of booze conversation. Everything, truth always comes out after a bit of alcohol. But yeah, like I would definitely encourage teams to get in contact with that man over there who plays for Catford. Don't know how he'll do it as he's playing.
I can't do it.
There's always ways. Send him your videos and let him chop it up. He'll do that for you. Yeah. I'm trying to get him working. Guy's underworked.
Well, talk about underworked. Someone as Chloe said, Marlon's got a jawline now. Also a jawbone line. Preseason must be going well. Wow. So literally, hold on. So you've been eating like the salads. You've been eating the chicken, the tuna. There's like
I eat yard food. Yeah, yard man, you know. Yeah, I eat my good food. The only difference is I eat in smaller proportions. And I've been running. This is what I said to you at the start. Like, I've enjoyed pre-season. Normally I hate, like, we did the bleep test a week ago, just over a week ago. And I enjoyed it. And I was half hoping we did it again. I know a lot of my teammates are thinking, why don't you shut up right now? You don't want that again. Shut up right now. But I've never liked it, bleep test. I remember doing it when I was a semi-pro. I can't remember which club it was. And we did it. And I hated it. But this one, yeah, I loved it. And the sun, by the way, I'm a sun baby. I love the sun. So working out in the sun is actually good for me. It's allowing me to burn. And if I got a jawline, I'll live with it.
No, brilliant. Honestly, Shugs, thank you so much for coming on. We will be doing a Division 2 breakdown very, very soon, either on a Friday or on a Sunday. Oh, bleep test could be going soon. Oh, yes.
I love that. Let's go.
Oh, geez. I love that.
I'll be the only one doing it, man.
I know, innit?
Say, you do it then. You do it. You want to do it? You do it. Bro, I don't mind.
Brilliant.
No,
Shugs, thank you so much for kind of doing this. We will be doing a Division 2 breakdown. Again, either on a Friday or on a Sunday, depending. And yeah, it's going to be very, very similar. So if you see a DM from either Shugsy or myself, please respond. Yeah, we'll kind of get your comments on the show. Next week, let me put it out there now. We have Owen Williams, and we'll be talking about how to sell your football club. This is going to be a very interesting conversation. Some great information. Owen knows a lot about sales, and to anyone out there that's kind of looking to actually grow their club and to kind of do certain things, this is a conversation you cannot miss. So this is going to be next week, Sunday. The show will start at 8 o'clock. Let me again, thank you to kind of Coach Paul, and the video was great. All right, listen, I mean, you know what? Let me say something again. I think, without again waffling like too much, I'm trying to word it in a way. Yeah.
Get it out, lad. Time is money.
Listen, you know what? We have real conversations. Or, you know, when I was in the independent changing room, and Paul talks real, like he's real. You know what I'm saying? He's real in terms of what he says.
Mm-hmm.
So if he says that you've played shit, you've had a shocking game.
Mm-hmm.
But if he looks at you and kind of gives you like a thumbs up, or he says, you know what, well done, like he means it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like he kind of really, really means it. And the dynamics between that, like the management, like, you know, again, it's so fascinating. Literally how like things are, and literally when you actually sit down with Paul and literally have a conversation, because literally Paul will call me. I mean, like he's not called me in a bit, but like we, you know, like he still texts and like whatnot. If you actually sit down and literally have a conversation with Paul, be like, wow, okay, okay, interesting. So yeah, so literally that's what I want to say. So again, shouts to Paul. Chewy's got the eyes. I don't know why Chewy's got the eyes. And
he don't like the bleep test. He don't want to do the bleep test.
But hold on, but literally Chewy's one of the fittest players around.
Doesn't mean he likes doing the bleep test. Not there's some things you don't like doing as a player, and I guess I don't know. There was a shock to my system. I think by then Paul should have it working perfectly, so that should be great.
And Mr. Cass, it was a great piece of work. T, can't wait for the next one. I don't think there's going to be a next one. I really kind of don't. There is
going to be a next one. Listen, don't listen to his gibberish. The only difference is, as he's playing, you have to kind of film your thing and just kind of talk to him politely in a business sense and say, look,
listen,
what you need from us, and we'll sort that out.
No,
Talk to me. I'll get it to him.
What it is, yeah. And again, like we all want like the Masters scene to actually grow, and now everyone can see the engagement and like see what like vets football. I keep saying vets. I don't like the word vets. I'm gonna,
I don't know why. It's just words, bro.
It's
everyone knows what you mean.
Yeah.
All right, say over 35 then. Say over 35.
No.
Literally,
honestly, no. You know, there's like veterans, and masters. I think we're masters of football. We are masters of football. You know, there are like, you know, certain words.
Here's the question: If you're gonna say we're masters of football, there's still some people at this age and in this division who can't even control a ball.
In what division is this?
In all the divisions.
Okay, so just because you can't
doesn't make so you haven't mastered. So you obviously haven't mastered. You haven't mastered certain arts within football. So to call yourself a master, I think that's
no, but like you have experience, because literally
I get what you're meaning. I'm just giving giving you an argument for to term it differently.
But literally, again, you know, we can work both ways. But you can have a 25-year-old vet in the army that's done 10 years, and you know, he's a vet. But then again, of course, you can have so you know what I'm saying. So hey, like I just like the word masters. I think, you know, literally everyone has something to the game, especially after the ages of 30, 35, 40. You know, I just kind of like the word masters. That's just
I mean, the reason why I'm of Jamaican heritage, and if you call a man a veteran, that's a respect thing. It's a respect. So we don't look at it in a derogative way. I think maybe towards the westernized kind of culture, it's a bit different in the sense of, you know, you're calling someone old means they're dead or they're in a walking stick or anything like that. So I guess they link that to veterans, but veterans are normally the ones from my background that are the respected ones.
I get it.
You understand?
So
that's why I don't mind the term.
Yeah. I get it. Also, Chloe's smudge. Sorry. Yeah. So it's kind of smudge that was talking about your.
Okay, got ya. Thank you, my bro. Yeah, man. Yeah. Double chin is gone, my bro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, like you're looking kind of trim still. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you know, you're looking kind of, you know,
trying to ching, you know. I'm just gonna have to get a gym membership. You know that one. You know what I'm saying?
But again, listen, I just want to say, anyone can film their games. Anyone can just take their phone and film something. You don't need like a big off camera. This is just to expose our community to a wider audience. Trust me, it's only gonna get bigger. So hey, just pick up your phone or whatever it is, and just make content. And again, that's kind of how the whole community is going to grow. So that's all I have to say. Shugs, anything else that you want to say before we bounce?
I'm good to go.
Yeah.
It's all love. At the end of the day, just enjoy your football. Get training, get yourself fit, mentally right. And involve your family in your football as well. Don't push them to the side. Involve them. Make them feel included. Trust me, it makes a happier life.
Yeah, and again, big shout out to Cass. Big shout out to all Vets teams from LSU family. Hot preseason's going well, and you have a productive and injury-free season. 100%, man, 100%. We want every single division to be competitive. We want the competitive banter. We want people to kind of say, we are the flagship of this division, and we love that confidence. If like Shugsy or myself can literally probably jump onto that and literally expose your club or or your moment on this platform, we will do that. We will do that. So hey, everything's good. Everything's done. Shugsy, thank you so much for coming on the Sunday. Your first preseason game is at the end of the month. Ours is next week against LSUA. It's going to be a very this hopefully I can get a few minutes but yeah, it's going to be a tough game. But hey, I wouldn't expect anything less against LSU. No matter what.
Smudger will be targeting you. Just thought I'd put you out there. You know what, Tobrise? Let's end the show.
Hey, listen, you know what? Smudge played well. As I know a few of the players I should be watching out for.
Now, isn't he?
Has he?
He's working it. Them LSU boys will be working,
Yeah, listen, I mean, it looks like,
they're on smoke.
Yeah, listen, baby on
That's
smoke,
it.
man. It's and again, we like those type of challenges, but again, I don't think me and Smudge and I are gonna have that one-on-one battle. But if it was a 50-50, I would literally expect Smudge to kind of go in hard.
Go on, Smudge.
But who do you think is going to win that 50-50?
I'm putting it on Smudge.
Okay.
You only just started training. That brother's been training for about 6 weeks. He's on smoke. It's like two boxers. One trains for 2 weeks, the other trains for 6 weeks. You got to put your money on 6 weeks.
I would win. He said I would.
Hey, Smudge, I want to report back next week. Because I know Tobrise won't be giving me that. He might be in the gas like that.
Listen. You know what? It is what it is. Again, actually, I mean, what are your objectives for this season?
Just get fit, man. That's all.
No,
just get your body right.
No, I hate that. Just
Just get fit.
No, but literally, are you kind of looking to kind of play how many goals or
you don't do hard workouts to not want to play. If that's the case, I'll join after preseason. Yeah, you don't do preseason not to, and depends where I play on the pitch. I may not play where you think I might play. So that depends. But to be honest, as long as my team wins, that's all I care about. Whenever you saw me upset, we didn't win. Think about that.
Thank you. Smudge and T are different weight classes. That's what I'm saying.
It is,
Like,
man. It is.
Yeah,
But
it won't be fair.
but-
No, actually. Well,
Wait, Cass.
Uh-huh.
Cass, do you know that what's his name? Mayweather. He fought a heavyweight not too long ago. And punch his face out. Punch it up. Punch it up.
no, I would, you know, like any.
I'll just leave it at
any-
that.
No, listen, any like 50-50s, there's, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, you know, hey, it's a friendly, man. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, there's a.
So you're going to pull out of the challenge then, yeah?
There's a way you conduct yourself sometimes in a friendly.
Okay.
Yes, it's going to be hard for me 100% because, you know, I do play 100 miles an hour, but you know, there's, you know, this is a friendly, man, you know, and she no one lets you wants to start a season with injured players
No
or
such thing as a friendly. When you play football, you
I
play to
know.
win.
Oh, facts. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for like watching. We will be back next week Sunday, and again, please kind of watch out for material coming out in the next couple of days. Again, Shugsy, thank you so much for like coming on. Please like and subscribe, share, and again, my name is Tobrise, the best grassroots centre back in London. Isn't it right, Shugs?
Yeah, in the second division.
Guys, thank you so much. See you later. Bye-bye.